All right. Okay, thank you. All right, good afternoon. It is 12:33. Looking out over Killeen right now, I am, by the way, going to give you a midday update on the storms that'll be rolling in. Now, right now, this is just kind of nasty outside. Obviously, we've been dealing with fog if you've been outside. I've driven around Bell County this morning. Not only is it visibility is still down, unusual for it to be 12:33 and us still dealing with visibility down to a quarter of a mile or so, but I just observed it. Like I said, here in Bell County, so it could be anywhere in the viewing area that fog is still an issue, as well as the very light sprinkles, sort of like a heavy mist that has been falling viewing area wide, and some light rainfall as well. Should get straight to radar here in a second. Just looking out over Killeen, you can see it is just damp. No thunderstorm activity quite yet. That window is not going to begin until later on this evening, and that's going to be very, very isolated compared to what we are going to see right around tomorrow morning's commute, and that's going to be a lot different than what we're seeing right now. 57 degrees, obviously with mist falling, humidity is at 100%. Winds are down across the viewing area right now. Feels like temperatures right around the actual temperatures, 50s and 60s. Why do we say so warm in the overnight hours? That is because of the humidity we kept in place. Sort of retains daytime heating from the day prior. When we see these low temperatures in the mornings being in the 50s this time of year, oftentimes it would be because we have high humidity in place, which of course we have all day. All right, I zoomed out regionally. Maybe you're going up to Dallas, down to San Antonio. As you can see, other than way up northeast near the Red River corridor, maybe a couple of rumbles of thunder out that way, Shreveport, Nacogdoches as well. So far northeast Texas, where they're going to have higher rain totals than we are over the next 24 hours. Here at home, maybe sneaking in would be some actual rainfall. Right now, it's that mist that's been falling all morning. Let's zoom in, see who could get the actual rainfall and accumulating rain. You can see Burnett, Llano, Georgetown, so Williamson County. Moving into Bell County is some rain showers. This could be a little bit heavier than that mist we've been seeing fall all morning, but still no thunderstorm activity that I'm actually seeing across our portion of Texas, and that likely remains the case. Radar is likely going to continue to look like this throughout the afternoon hours. We've been waiting on that fog to lift up. Hasn't happened quite yet. It could be one of those really weird days where it doesn't. If it doesn't, I think it would not kill, but make for a lesser chance of us seeing severe thunderstorms in the overnight and early morning hours. So let's roll through that part, because I know that's why a lot of you are probably tuning in, wondering just how intense and the timing, things of that nature on tomorrow morning storms. Because for a lot of us, it's just going to be like it is right now up until tomorrow morning, when we see that line come through that is heavier, and we are going to see widespread ½ an inch to a inch and a half or so of rain in a very short period. So you see this yellow right here. I paused here on purpose to show you a couple of isolated thunderstorms could pop up, just a bit heavier than what we are seeing right now as we roll on into this evening's hours. So I'm talking 8, 9, 10 p.m. You're going to bed. Don't be surprised if there's a thunderstorm at your location, but a lot of us not going to see it until the overnight and early morning hours, like I was saying. So this particular model we show a lot. It's the HRRR, or what we call the HRR. Performs really well about 24 hours out. We're now obviously a lot closer to it occurring than that. So this is probably a pretty good idea of what radar is going to look like tonight, early tomorrow morning. Noticing this timestamp right here, 12:01 in the morning, you can see it starts to try to form into a line. If that happens, automatically our straight line wind threat goes up a little bit. So instead of seeing these isolated cells, it starts to form into a line, sort of bows out a little bit. You see that a lot oftentimes here in Central Texas. If that happens, the winds will be probably the primary threat. Now, because of the fact that we are still in January, it is not severe season, This is going to occur while it's dark at night, and this particular system, the mechanics of it, I don't think hail is going to be a big issue at all. We may hear of a couple of instances of it across the viewing area. For a lot of us, the wind is going to pick up over an hour and a half or so. You're going to get the heavy downpours, and that is it. It is going to be out of here just after the morning commute tomorrow morning. But it is obviously going to start in our western counties right around midnight to 2 a.m. and they're going to be done with this situation earlier than our central and eastern counties. Fast forward again. This model wants it to slow down a little bit more than what it was showing yesterday afternoon. This kind of shows it lingering in our western counties for several hours. They could end up getting pockets of 2.5 inch totals. Not everyone is going to see it. This isn't going to be a blanketed thing where everybody got an inch or everybody got an inch and a half. It's going to be peppered here and there where the heavier cells are, obviously would indicate more rainfall. The further north and northeast that you are, the likelihood of you seeing the higher totals that could cause very brief, isolated, localized flooding tomorrow morning is just higher. It looks like the line is going to hold a little more steady the further north that you go towards Dallas. You can see that it is going to peak when a lot of people are on I-35 in the most populated area of our viewing area. Unfortunately, oftentimes it does happen in the morning or afternoon commute, and this is going to be the case here tomorrow morning, sometime between 7 a.m. and 8:30. Again, right during the commute, that line of thunderstorms is going to move through. Right now, it's not really showing a break in the line. Sometimes that can happen, and it's looking like there's a possibility of it being much lighter accumulation and intensity-wise in our far southern versus our northern counties. As these storms march from like 7, 8 a.m. to, I would say, 10, 11 a.m. east of I-35, so our eastern counties, could be still seeing them try to drop an inch or two of rain for our eastern counties, and they have a slightly higher threat of severe weather, but still it's the lowest end that we have for tomorrow. Now the further into southeast Texas that you go, like for example Beaumont, north of Houston, far eastern Texas and the Piney Woods, they actually have a low end tornadic threat. We do not here in central Texas. It is simply going to reach them later on during the morning and early afternoon hours. For most of us, this is going to be an early morning tomorrow type of event, and it is not going to last very long. You can see it's sunny by tomorrow afternoon, and if you're excited about that, wait till I have to tell you about this upcoming weekend. It is going to be in the 70s. It is going to be sunny, and it's not going to be super windy. So a lot of times when we have those spring-like days, it's not pleasant because the wind's howling. And that won't be the case. It is just going to be a really pretty weekend, you guys, and we're not going to have freezes for at least the next week or so in the mornings either. So that'll be nice. You can see we wake up above 32 degrees Saturday morning. So this is a second model, just quickly going through this. You can see that it is going to agree with what the first one said. Isolated thunderstorms late this evening or around midnight. Wouldn't be surprised if we are watching these cells pretty closely for warnings. I don't think there's going to be a lot of warnings issued, and if they are, it would be winds that are gusting up to 58+ miles an hour, and or radar can sometimes estimate, hey, this particular cell right here potentially has hail that's an inch in diameter. Those would trigger warnings, and it likely wouldn't last for very long. These are going to start to potentially form into a line. Now this model doesn't want it to be as thick or as well organized of a line as the other model did. So we'll have to wait it out and see if it stays and is linear, or if there's going to be some areas that barely get any rain and right next to them areas that get 2 inches of rain. We'll have to wait it out and see on that if it does form into a line or not. But this has it coming through 5 to 7 a.m., so just a little bit earlier in the morning. You can see 7 a.m. It's starting to clear I-35 with this particular model, but still, on average, most folks will get right around an inch of rain or so. There's going to be the likelihood that some of our northeastern counties, and could be anywhere, but little pockets here and there is where we anticipate for it to be more than that. Severe weather outlook for today, and that would be for this evening, the further west that you go, increased likelihood, but still only a 1 out of 5 risk. We roll into tomorrow. You can see level 2 slight risk for far eastern Texas. Like I was saying, they just have a higher risk of seeing a couple of those warnings. The rest of us just under that level 1 marginal risk. So very low end threat for a lot of us is going to be a very quick rain event. Again, maybe you just tuned in. A lot of us are going to see maybe a ½ inch to 1 inch of rain. We're going to have pockets that are slightly more than that. Wouldn't be shocked if, especially our far northern counties, we're seeing a couple of places here and there that are getting more like 2 inches of rain. So good old-fashioned rain, that's the good news, and stick with us. We will be, of course, on air Texas Today tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 7, so right as these thunderstorms are rolling through. So we'll be live all morning. We'll also be on 6 Plus and the Facebook page giving constant updates. But it's going to be out of here by mid-morning, you guys. And after that, we're done. We're going to get very warm for this time of year, kick off February in the 70s. Groundhog Day is Sunday already, by the way. I cannot believe that. Next chance for rain isn't until the very end of this 7-day forecast. And we will do another one of these live updates, let you know of any changes here. Probably about 2, 3 o'clock today. And then I will be on air on Channel 6 at 5 o'clock.